Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Bay Area Business Podcast, and I am here with Damon Powell. Damon, we're in your art studio. This is Warehouse 416 in Oakland.
Yes, sir.
So tell us about what you do and how you add value to your community.
I'm an artist. I consider myself an artist and a theologian because I have been trained. I'm ordained as an AME minister.
Okay.
I've worked pastored and assistant pastor for quite a while.
Yeah.
I've also been involved with art for all the time I can remember. I have an undergraduate degree in fine arts, but I also have a master's of divinity from a seminary in Ohio, and also I got my doctoral degree at the Graduate Theological Union here in Berkeley.
Okay.
And so I do a lot of writing and research in theology, as well as my activism through my church, which is Brookings AME in Oakland, California. I've been doing art all my life, and so my doctoral degree was a way for me to put together my love for art and painting and drawing with my understanding theologically, because I believe that they are definitely connected. There's a connection between what goes on artistically, creatively, and spiritual development, spiritual growth.
Yeah.
And so I consider myself an artist and a theologian. I try to bring those insights to other people. So the things that I get and I begin to understand through my theological research, my prayer and meditation, I also try to put into a visual form of expression that people can hopefully relate to and identify with, and maybe help them somewhere along their journey. So
nice.
That's my way of adding value.
Okay. So you talked about your personal development. So tell us what entails in that? The spirituality, the personal. What do you do to keep yourself going?
A variety of things. My mainstay right now is really meditation.
Meditation.
Meditate every day, at least once a day.
Okay.
Also, before I engage in my creative process here, I have a small altar on the other side of the studio, and I usually have a brief prayer meditation before I begin to work.
Okay.
Begin my process. I've been into Tai Chi for a while, many years ago. I also do some yoga.
Okay, nice.
And just a lot of personal development stuff. I'm currently really studying the Enneagram and really getting into how that
Enneagram,
works.
what's that? Go into that.
It's for lack of a better term, it's a personality type understanding.
Okay.
Kind of like a personality test, but it also has some spiritual components.
Okay.
And talks about how you can begin to go past barriers that may accompany your particular personality type. Using more spiritual methods rather than just psychotherapeutic stuff. So that's what I'm really into right now.
Okay.
So that's my main thing right now, and I'm still doing a little yoga.
Nice. So give me a story. Our listeners and viewers like stories. So give me a story of an aha moment that got you into art.
Aha moment that got me into art. I've been drawing up since I was a little boy.
Okay.
I love comic books. My father used to always buy me comic books.
Yeah.
I had an amazing...
Who's your favorite superhero?
My individual favorite superhero would probably be Wolverine.
Okay. Yeah. I just seen that movie, so okay.
Yes. So I was really excited when those came out.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, and so I would always be fascinated by these images in these comic books. And then I started looking at artists, mostly European in my early years.
Okay.
Durer, Da Vinci, looking at their paintings, their old drawings, and I was mesmerized by these pictures. And so I began to try to copy stuff in the comic books, some of these other things, but I didn't have the skills at the time. I was using crayons, I was using whatever. Trying to do a Da Vinci, which wasn't going to work. But so that's where it really got started. I've been all through high school, I was struggling with what I wanted to do with my life, and the only thing I could figure out I wanted to do was to be an artist. These are the only things I enjoy. I enjoy writing, I enjoy something creative, no matter what it is, and then I enjoy drawing and painting. So I spent most of my time in the art studio in high school.
Okay, so you're here now. How long have you been doing it?
Well, I work professionally as a professional illustrator right out of college.
Okay.
Doing some graphic design.
Okay.
And professional illustration. I worked for a t-shirt design company for a while.
Okay.
So I was doing more of the freelance thing.
Yeah.
It really didn't fit in with my personality.
Yeah.
The deadlines and the changes just wasn't,
Yeah.
So then I got called into the ministry, and I literally got called. I believe I was called. So I left and went to seminary.
Okay.
And then I was trying to figure out how can I put these two pieces together.
Yeah.
And so now I'm back again, really focusing more mainly on my creative aspects. I've been back in business for myself about a little less than a year now.
Okay. So what Tell me about the challenges of being an independent artist. I mean, you're all alone.
Yeah. It gets difficult. One thing is more the business aspects of what I try to do.
Yeah.
Take away time when I could be painting.
Yeah.
And so from a product standpoint, you can't sell the product if you don't have the product. But on the other hand, if you don't market the product, nobody knows about the product to be interested to buy.
That's that, yeah.
So it's constantly trying to juggle my time between creative time and time that I can sit down and do advertising and do things like this and meet with folks so I can let people know about what I'm doing who may be interested. And then also there's just the issue of, putting a price on something that you do so much. It's not like you can go out with some other industries and say, okay, this is what the market rate is for this particular product. So I want a price. You kind of have to be a little bit more organic.
Okay, so let's go deeper into that, because we all know if you go to Walmart and buy the Seascape picture, it's going to be $12, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you say you have two 8x11 pictures? How do you know which one to price higher or lower than the other one? Is it just the work that you put into it, the feel of it, or?
Well, I can tell you what I do.
Okay.
Many artists do different things.
Okay.
I've read a lot of books on this. I've been doing a lot of research and reading on developing your business as an artist and that type of thing. And so definitely for me, if I've got two pieces of the same size, I definitely want to think about generally have them in a similar price range.
Yeah.
However, I also realize that some mediums that I work with are more complicated than others.
Mediums meaning?
Meaning whether I'm doing a painting or whether I'm working on something in scratchboard, or whether it's just a pen and ink drawing, if it's just black and white versus color. So those types of techniques sometimes take more time. So even though they may be the same size, one may take me 10 hours, the other may take me 3 hours. So obviously that's going to be a determination in the price, and kind of try to come up with a figure based around that, and then where I am in my career, which also is I can't go out and say I want $10,000 for an 8.5x11 piece now. It just doesn't work.
But you do have to respect your time and yourself and charge people money for it.
Yes, and hopefully I can make a living.
Definitely. That's the plan. What does your definition of success look like? What does success look like to Damon?
For me, success would look like I was able to make a decent living from my art. I don't need to be rich. I just need to make a decent living where I can be comfortable and have some things that I would like to have, do some things I would like to do, and for people to benefit from what I'm trying to give them. Whether they get some type of spiritual insight, whether maybe they're using some images that I've created to help them pray or understand some kind of spiritual principle. Whether it's through my speaking and my writing, they read something that I wrote and it helped them in some way. And so that would be success for me. Because there's also the issue, I have a big problem with the fact that many times the people who really need art aren't the people who are able to possess it. Because the prices become so expensive, or they have to go to a museum or some other place to view art. At least here at Warehouse 416, it's kind of an open community gallery. People can just come in. They don't necessarily have to go to a museum, and it's in a neighborhood as opposed to some place set up where you have to go. And I want people to be able to have a piece of artwork, an original piece of artwork in their home. The average person. Particularly some of the things that go on in some of our communities, I believe that images can help people maybe change some of their behaviors or thoughts about things.
Because you said the term need, and I wanted to unpack that. So when you say somebody might need art, is that because they're in a space where they might want to see an image that can change their thought process or change their life or change their inner being?
Yes. And or bring them peace. We have a need for beautiful things, for beauty in our lives. And even if it's something as simple as a small pencil drawing, somebody to have that in their home, to own that, and be able to look at that and get some type of value from it or have some type of meaning from it. I think we need that as human beings, just like we need air and water and all the other things that we need. So I believe that art is part of that process. You're
supplying that need. So tell us a little bit about your speaking and writing. You said those words.
Most of my writing is more theological stuff. I've got an article coming out in a journal called Black Theology later this year. Also, I attend conferences and do writing on aesthetic principles.
Like the feel of the room, how stuff is organized, arranged.
Aesthetics more in when we're talking about theories about beauty. What constitutes something as being beautiful or not beautiful?
Yeah.
And what about something being not beautiful is important or not? And how do we react to that? Understanding sign and symbolism in terms of how that equates with beauty.
Yeah, yeah.
So really, and how that relates to our understanding of God, or how that opens a door to us to see God more clearly.
That's deep, man.
Because when you look at a sunset, a lot of people have very spiritual experiences. They're seeing this beautiful thing, and it opens up something in them. And so that's an aesthetic principle.
Okay, yeah. I read this quote a couple days ago, and they said it about music, but one person can be singing one song to 85,000 people, but the 85,000 people are singing back that one song with 85,000 different feelings. So somebody's looking at a sunset, or 10 people looking at a sunset, but that sunset means 10 different meanings to each individual person. I mean, that one piece can change so many different lives in so many different ways. I mean, that's huge. I mean,
that's kind of like the preaching experience. A lot of times people, when I preach, or you hear the preacher, you say, he was talking to me, or she was talking to me. And the person's just talking, but something, everybody got something. They got hopefully what they needed from that experience, but it was different. And so I see artists being the same. I've had people come in and look at some of my pieces and say, I see X, Y, Z. I'm like, wow, I never even thought about that.
You had a whole different,
But then when they say it, I see it.
Oh, okay.
Or I can understand that feeling that they're getting. So that's an important part.
Nice. So how do you give back to the community?
I think my art is a form of giving back. My attempt to create things to make people think, help them think, work through issues. I'm also very active in terms of, really being involved. I do a lot of work with HIV and AIDS. Okay. That's kind of my thing, so to speak, that I really do a lot of work with. And just making myself available. A lot of my pieces, particularly if people say they can't afford them, I definitely try to encourage them to get a print. Yeah. Because you may not be able to get the original, but you can get a print. And that's something that somebody has that they can have in their home, that they can refer to, and trying to meet that spiritual need, that spiritual yearning that all of us have in some various way that gets manifested in our lives, and hopefully something that I create can help meet that need.
Yeah, nice. So right behind you, we have a piece of your art. Yes. So let's break it down just to a white canvas. How did you get that from a white canvas?
Well, everything starts for me in the mind. Okay. This particular piece actually kind of came to me during one of my meditation practices. A lot of times things do come to me during my meditation. And it was really just about the experience. This is called meditatio, which actually means meditation in Italian. And so really about the experience of meditating and that feeling of energy moving and swirling. So you have the kind of the moving and swirling of the piece, and the symbolic kind of yin yang symbol in there. And really just I start with the idea and try to figure out how can I express this feeling visually, or this understanding visually, and then I begin to move to sketches. Usually just small thumbnail sketches. I may do about 10 or 15.
And is that on a separate piece of paper?
Yeah, usually my sketchbook.
Okay.
And then as I begin to hone in on, what I think is working, I start putting different things together. Then I may do a larger sketch, maybe about this big or so. Yeah. To kind of make sure everything's in place where I want it. Okay. Depending on how complicated it is, I go to a color rough, which I may do using just color pencil or something like that. So I have an idea of what colors I'm using, what's working. I need to do 2 or 3 of those, and I work those out. Wow. And then I lay the image out onto the paper or the canvas and begin to
That's a process.
do the work.
Yeah,
so it's not just something that,
so I thought you just had a white piece of canvas and you just came out with that.
No.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens. I do some more abstract things that I try to just be more organic and let it flow. Whatever comes out. But some of these pieces are a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. And how long did that piece take?
This particular piece, probably about. Are we including you were talking about actual work time? Or are we talking about creative time? The whole process.
The whole process.
The whole process probably about 25 hours. Okay. The actual work time was probably about 6.
Okay. Yeah. So you take your time.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
good. That's good. We don't want the microwave stuff. Keep it in the oven, cook it slow, right? Make sure it comes out good.
Let it marinate.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about your influences. We all have mentors. So who kind of brought you up, grew you up, and influenced you to get into this lane?
When I was growing up, my mother was very supportive.
Okay.
She really encouraged me, and I had an aunt who really encouraged me to develop my creative side, because I guess they saw that was something that was really strong in me, with this ability to, or desire to create things.
Yeah.
Then I think really when I got into seminary, a couple of my professors were really encouraging me to put this all together.
The art and the spirituality, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
They were really like, you have this talent, you shouldn't throw it away.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to find some way to bring it all together, to incorporate it.
Yeah.
And they felt like that what I was trying to say needed to be said, that they really encouraged me, like, you really ought to go further with your education and see how you can put this together.
Wow, that's good for them, yeah.
Particularly for Professor Dr. Ogman, and another one named Dr. Harvey. Right.
So they kind of helped you say, hey, you can do both of them.
Yes.
Were a lot of people saying you should probably just focus on just the preaching aspect or the ministry aspect versus the art, and like not to mix them together?
Unfortunately, there's not as much room for art, particularly in the Black American tradition, for the visual.
Yeah.
And so that makes it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
But I think that also creates a space, a vacuum that I can fill that other people aren't filling.
Yeah, yeah.
Provide something that is definitely needed within that context. So that's important for me.
Okay, nice. So say there's a young kid out there, he's listening to the interview. What book would you recommend him to help him get to where you're at today?
One particular book? Theologically or artistically? One book.
let's do two books. Okay, so one theologically and then one artistically.
Theologically, one of the books that really opened up my mind was a book called Black Theology by Dr. James Cone.
Black Theology.
Yes.
Okay.
Very important, seminal work. Changed the course of modern North American theology, particularly in the Black American context. And then artistically, I think
the art and business side.
Oh, the art and business side.
Because we want to be prosperous, you know.
Absolutely. There's a book that I just bought from a guy, and I can't think of the name of the book. I have it up there on my bookshelf. But the guy has his own website. He has a gallery out in Arizona. Okay. And I don't know why I can't think of this guy's name. But he has a blog too called Red Dot. Red Dot. I believe so.
Okay, then find the book.
Xanadu is the name of his gallery, I think.
Xanadu?
Yeah.
There's nothing in Arizona, man.
And so the book is basically about how to develop your art business. Okay. How to learn how to market yourself to galleries, how to learn how to make your portfolio more cohesive, all these type of things. That book really helped me out a lot. So and I went to a seminar that he gave in Sacramento, which was instructive too. He went through the book and gave out handouts, and that was really helpful for me. Yeah.
So how do you, because I mean, everybody's an artist. Not everybody's an artist, but everybody feels like they can paint or draw. So how do you get into a gallery? How do you get your stuff showcased? Is that, I mean, is just knowing the right people?
Well, I'm still working on that process and developing my business. I've only been at this, like I said, a little over a year now. I'm still in the process of transitioning to full-time art myself. Yeah. But right now, what I'm working on is really developing product. Once again, you can't sell the product, you don't have the product. Exactly. And developing a more comprehensive body of work.
Comprehensive meaning universal, or?
Just in terms of more unified portfolio. Okay. A lot of times artists are doing this, they're doing that. Yeah. And so really galleries like to see things a little bit more unified.
It all looks like Damon. Like that piece of work is Damon. That's Damon.
Yes, and not necessarily always the same medium, but definitely the same kind of look. Yeah. And so I've been focusing on really honing my own style a little bit more this year. And then I want to start really marketing, which is just, sometimes you just got to get your stuff together in a portfolio and
go
by. See if you can, make an appointment.
Yeah.
See if you can get in and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Make some cold calls.
I love it.
If you know somebody who knows somebody,
hey,
I'd like to talk to this person. Go in the gallery, look around, meet some folks. Say, hey, I'm an artist too. I'd like to, show you some of my work sometime. Yeah. Developing the relationships. All things are really about developing relationships.
Oh yeah.
You and I develop a relationship now. We just happen to meet. And look what's happening.
Exactly.
And so really, with everything, it's about a relationship.
Yeah, that's true. So how can we find more about you and what you do? Your social networks, blogs, websites, all that.
I am on Facebook.
Okay.
Under Damon Powell, artist and theologian. I'm also on Google Plus under Damon Powell, artist and theologian. I have a LinkedIn page as Damon Powell. My website is www.damonpowell.com.
Okay.
What else? That's about everything with me right now.
What how do you I always like to ask these types of questions. So this is a physical I guess entity. The art you make is physical. So how do you make it digital? How do you put it on Facebook and the Google Plus? Do you scan it and put it on, or you take pictures of it, or how does that work?
I found a gentleman who I work with who is very good, and he's reasonably priced, and he scans all my work for me.
Okay.
He puts it together, and he gives it to me on a disc as a JPEG. High quality JPEG.
Yeah.
And so I have Photoshop elements, and I can go in and kind of mess around with it. I need to put it up on certain sites, change the DPI, change the size. So that's been very helpful. And he also does all my printing for me.
Okay.
So anytime I need prints, when people order prints, I go to him. He got a good turnaround. He does a good job for me.
Cool. That's huge.
Yeah, I took my time finding someone because once again we're developing relationships. And I'm like, this is somebody I need to feel like I can depend on you, and I want to work with you regularly. I'm not just trying to get one time. I want us to have a relationship. And so it's been working well.
Nice. Good stuff. So this is the last question, and I always like to ask it. But if you had a friend come into town and they were starving, they had to get something to eat, where would you take them to get a meal that best represents the Bay Area?
Best represents the Bay Area.
Yeah.
That's a good question. There's so much going on in the Bay Area. So much diversity, which is one of the reasons why I like it. My first place I would think would be, actually there's a new restaurant, it's relatively new, called Kingston down the street.
Okay.
Jamaican food.
Okay.
Definitely go there.
Okay.
If you want sushi, I recommend, I think it's called Taki Sushi. It's on Grand Avenue.
Okay, Taki Sushi.
Yeah. What else? Definitely want to go to one of the beer gardens here.
Okay.
There's one right down the street. Everything's kind of centrally located.
You in Oakland, so this is kind of like a melting pot.
Yeah, a lot of things I like. Barbecue, probably be Everett & Jones, definitely the most popular. What else? I can't.
I think we're full already. Right?
You can find it in Oakland. So
nice.
All you have to do is ask, and somebody will tell you.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, I just wanted to thank you for taking the interview. I'm sure our listeners and viewers got a lot of good takeaways from it. And any last words, quotes, comments?
Come and see me.
Check them out.
Come and check me out. Warehouse 416, Damon Powell, artist and theologian. Would love to sit down and talk with you, meet with you at any time.
First Fridays, right?
First Fridays. Every first Friday I'm here. I'm open.
Nice. Well, Damon, thanks for taking the interview, and I'll see you at the top.
Okay.
All right.